Hello world! Leaks from an anonymous source reveal how Iran is researching hacking into and blowing up fuel pumps at petrol stations, and how they want to hack and sink cargo ships. A new report uncovers that 4% of encrypted malware downloads are now coming from Discord, and Kaseya, the victim of the largest ransomware attack this year, mysteriously manages to acquire a universal decryption key. That's in today's episode of The Week Web, where we break down and dissect cybersecurity related tech news. Just in the past day, seemingly classified Iranian documents detailing plans for explosive new cyber attacks have been leaked. This bundle of top-secret reports, uncovered by Sky News, lays out how Iran is exploring how they could hack into and sink cargo ships and blow up petrol station fuel pumps. I'm not exaggerating this in any way. The files are marked very confidential and are all headed with a quote from Iran's supreme leader, which reads, "The Islamic Republic of Iran must become among the world's most powerful in the area of cyber." The anonymous source designates the author of these documents as Intelligence Team 13. Now, I haven't come across this moniker before, and it seems like no one else has either, though it's said to be a component of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' Cyber Command. The source says that Intelligence Team 13 is supposed to be rather clandestine, working on offensive cyber operations globally. The Iranian hackers have seemingly set their sights on cargo ships, as the first of the leaked reports was titled Ballast Water, referring to ballast tanks that cargo vessels use. These are compartments within boats that hold water in an effort to provide stability to a ship. As you can imagine, stability is pretty important when you're floating. The report details how pumps are used to bring water into the tanks through centrifuges, and that the task must be completed with precision. Any problems could result in the sinking of the ship. A diagram showed how commands could be sent remotely to a ship from a control center on land via a satellite link. The section concludes with, "Any cyber attack or disruption of these systems could cause irreversible damage to the ship." Now, this all sounds rather spooky and ominous. Cargo ships are pretty important, as the vast majority of global trade is facilitated by sea. How else are we meant to get our 50-cent fidget spinners? However, there is good news, that these seem to be very high-level explanations of ideas, or plans if you could call them that. They discuss the possibility of an attack of this kind as opposed to a detailed low-level explanation of how one might carry out an assault of this magnitude. Sky News points out that the authors appear to rely on open-source research rather than privileged information. Another segment of research of interest to Intelligence Team 13 was aimed at delineating attack vectors of petrol stations. The leaked top-secret document focuses on a system known as an automatic tank gauge, which tracks the flow of fuel at fuel pumps, specifically referring to a product of this kind developed by Franklin Fueling Systems, a US company. The report details how the system has the ability to cut off the fuel supply or change its temperature. It went on to say, an explosion of these fueling pumps is possible if these systems are hacked and controlled remotely. Again, this is a high-level analysis of a potential attack rather than a codified conspiracy of some kind, though a spokesperson for the company which develops these systems said he did not think it would be possible to trigger an explosion. Very reassuring. The Iranian embassy in London obviously did not respond to a request for comment on these allegations. As with most leaks, there's only one source, so all I have to go on for this topic is the Sky News report. I don't think we have to worry about petrol stations randomly exploding or cargo vessels sinking just yet. The leaked bundle of reports comes across as a kind of white paper as to what type of vulnerabilities may exist in critical infrastructure. Iran's aim, as the source explains, would be to create a target bank to be used whenever they see fit, saving their knowledge of these vulnerabilities for a rainy day. A brand new report published by Sophos explains why 4% of worldwide encrypted malware downloads are now coming through Discord servers. I made a video on this topic a while back. Malware hosted on Discord is nothing new per se, but over the past year it's become a whole lot more popular. Judging from the past 2 months, there's been an increase in Discord hosted malware by nearly 140 times when compared to the same period last year. Firstly, a quick primer on how this all works. Using Discord, you can send files, including executables, to your mates. By right-clicking and copying the link, you can extract a direct download link to your file. Criminals are taking advantage of this feature to host their malicious files, sharing the links wherever people will click them. For bad actors, this is a really attractive way of hosting malware for a few reasons. Firstly, not so many file-sharing sites these days provide static direct download links, so that in of itself is a big bonus. Also, files uploaded to Discord never expire. Not only that, but Discord itself is large enough that fiendish files get lost in the ether of countless legitimate files that are also being uploaded to the service. And best of all, Discord is free, so even if a dodgy account does get banned, an attacker can just create a new one. The new report specifically refers to 4% of TLS encrypted malware downloads. TLS is the same protocol which HTTPS uses to encrypt web traffic. Just like the legitimate side of the web has spent the past few years switching over to HTTPS, the same has been happening in malware, albeit more slowly. Nowadays, almost half of malware uses TLS to conceal their communications in an attempt to make them harder to identify. Sophos reports most of the fractious files hosted by Discord focus on credential and personal information theft. A good portion of malware lurking on Discord's CDN has been identified as RATs, or remote administration tools. These programs are often disguised as game cheats, license key generators, etc. Or, for the more gullible users, Sophos have observed Discord Nitro generators. The ploy is you enter your username, click Start Boost, and that's all it takes to unlock Nitro perks, apparently. These Nitro generators are often called Nitro Gen utilities. To be crystal clear, none of this Discord-hosted malware is really Discord's fault. Malware has to be hosted somewhere, and those so inclined will simply go with whichever service is most feature-rich at the time. At the moment, it's Discord. Bad actors use other services such as Slack to host their malware, but the meteoric rise of Discord in the past few years has made it one of the prime choices for miscreants looking to host their wares. There's been puzzling new developments in the sticky situation that is the Kaseya ransomware hack. For a quick 20-second recap of the incident, Kaseya makes remote administration tools used by companies in order to manage their fleet of company computers. This software had a vulnerability, which was exploited by a Russian ransomware gang to lock up 1,500 organizations worth of computers. The gang demanded a staggering $70 million in exchange for the decryption key. The new development to unfurl is that Kaseya has mysteriously managed to obtain this universal key, which has the ability to decrypt all ransomed computers. I say mysteriously because how this key was gotten a hold of remains a mystery. Remember, the ransomware group responsible here, Revel, liquidated themselves shortly after the attack, following which they torched all their servers and went completely dark. Since then, there's been no apparent way to get in contact with them. There are a couple theories here. Firstly, that somehow Revel made contact with Kaseya by other means than their pre-existing official channels, and Kaseya paid either the full $70 million ransom or some measure of it. When asked if Kaseya paid the ransom, they simply responded that they can't confirm or deny that. An alternative theory I read via Bleeping Computer revolves around the notion that the Russian state was involved in shutting Revel down to show that they were playing ball with the US. Following this, Russia obtained the decryption key and handed it to US authorities as a gesture of goodwill, from where it was passed to Kaseya such that they could disseminate it to their customers. To make matters even more ambiguous, Kaseya is apparently forcing their customers to sign an NDA before handing them the universal decryptor, so there's a good chance we'll never know what really went on here, but I'm open to hearing your guys' theories in the comments. If you enjoy this kind of video, make sure to help me out by tickling the like button for the YouTube AI, as well as turning on those sub notifications. If you're looking for something to watch next, go check out my previous video on the troublesome spyware developed by NSO Group, which is being used by dictatorial regimes to spy on journalists. If you get a lot of value from this series of videos, do consider becoming a channel member. As always, sources will be linked in the video description. Stay tuned for more hacking videos, and have a good one.